just finished my sessions with Terry, and when I first came to Terry, I was very stressed. I have a lot going on in my work. I had recently had people leaving, so I was doing 3 people's jobs at once. There was constant thoughts, constant issues and problems, and the way I dealt with them at the time was just they were constantly fighting in my head. I constantly had things going on, and they were always crowding my head all at once, so I was feeling very stressed. I felt that it was really difficult to think through problems, and it was probably also very difficult to find solutions because the constant adrenaline rush of having to deal with 1,000 different problems at once would leave me just completely and utterly exhausted at the end of the day. My first session with Terry was quite profound and quite mind-boggling, because when I came in I was just full of thoughts and stresses and problems, and I walked out of here with such a clear and clean mind. All of those problems, it was like when you have a whole lot of issues and you know, your desk is completely full of things, and then by the time I came back, everything had been organised. It was all very very clean, and I could really understand what the issues for the day were. I hadn't forgotten anything, everything was still there, but it was just very organised. It was almost like a Zen-like state, I think, when I finished. From then, that has continually progressed. That was the starting point, from that really busy mind through to a very calm and organised way of thinking. I would say probably some of the biggest things that I struggled with at the time were those really crowded thoughts and the stress, and also the way that negative thought processes can sometimes interfere with your own capabilities. I always knew, I've always been pretty organised, and I've always known that I was capable of doing anything, but sometimes your own thought processes can get in the way a little bit. You can overthink situations, and that can hold you back. You know, if you have to have a discussion with somebody, you will tend to think about the outcome of that really, rather than what you actually need to discuss, and that can sometimes hold you back from what you really need to say. I have even recently had a situation where I did have to have quite a serious discussion with somebody, and the clearness of my ability to be able to articulate what I needed to say to her was just worlds away from how I probably would have dealt with it in the past. Also, I would say that Terry also works a little bit with an abundance of wealth, which is something I really noticed personally as well, and it's something that doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but has definitely happened, where I always felt like I didn't have enough money. I was always sort of struggling for money, and that has completely and utterly reversed. It doesn't necessarily make sense to me, but that is absolutely something that I can't contest. That has been a very, very clear change from when I first started as well. I feel like I am a more effective version of myself. I don't feel any different, but I definitely feel like I can be very, very capable at what I need to do. I don't get stressed anymore. I can have 1,000 problems land in my lap, and they just get dealt with and organised one at a time. Also, dealing with people, I've found that I can see problems and issues with people really, really clearly. If there's something that's not quite right with their performance, I can see exactly what that is, and I know exactly what I need to do about it. It's just a clear problem solution to me now, whereas previously, I think with so many other thoughts constantly going on in my head, it was very difficult to work out what was going on. Any problem and solution is incredibly easy to deal with now. I would say probably the biggest shift for myself has been my confidence in what I'm doing, and also my confidence in my abilities as well, I think. I've always known that I'm a capable person, and I think it's just that extra 10% of my ability is now changed to sort of 100% of my actual effectiveness, I guess, in my working and in my personal relationships as well. Cool. Cool?
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Matt.
That's right. Did we hear your door open?